Do you still talk to Mariah Carey?
I talk to her lawyers.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the Rico and Mambo Morning Show. Damion, Damizza Young is in the house.
Yes. Right. I've always wanted to meet him. Where is he?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Oh, I'm alive and kicking.
You got this book, Guilty by Association, man, where I was waiting for this book.
You're going to let him talk?
I was waiting for this book for a long time, man.
You can't read.
Yes,
kidding.
I can, man.
I can't. I didn't read the book yet because I can't read. You're right.
I was so amazed at some of these stories and some of the things that a kid from Santa Barbara,
I'm a local.
No, but I'm just saying, like, this is your story just tells kids out there that, whatever their dream is possible.
Yeah, I mean, that was the whole thing behind it. I just wanted to, make sure that people saw that, small town kids can make it in the big world.
The people you hung out with, and this is all in the book, is like, you got West Coast icons like Dr. Dre, Nate Dogg, the whole West Coast, the whole West Coast family, Mariah Carey, and then these bigwigs from record companies, and.
Sorry, I got a frog in my throat. Go ahead.
And you were working in L.A. at one of the big stations, Power 106. Yeah. And it's just amazing to know the behind the scenes stuff, especially when you're in the business, man.
Yeah, I mean, it was a lot of fun, but I'm afraid of what you're gonna ask because I know you got some like back pocket questions you're getting ready to pull out.
No, well, I mean,
see, I know this guy.
See, but here's the thing: is that I haven't read the whole book. I'm reading it right now, and it's a great book, by the way. Very good book, and there's a lot of stuff in there that even me, for as long as I've been in the business, it's shocking to me.
Why?
And it trips me because
Rico's been in the business for a long time. Yeah, you know.
Good looking out, guys. Thank
you. You mentioned Jay-Z in the book.
What?
And you say he's Hollywood, like he's a
who?
Jay-Z.
What?
Get the book. Damizzabook.com. You know what I'm talking
www.damizzabook.com.
You were named number 4 most powerful person in hip hop by the Source magazine in 1999. So that
they lied.
I mean, your picture was on the magazine. You were on the list, man.
That was fun, man. I mean, it's a blessing, dude. That kind of stuff humbles you. You work really hard. You get to a point where people recognize you, and it's a humbling thing. So,
You mentioned your granny a lot.
Yeah, shout out to Granny. She is the most awesome person in the world. I love kicking it with her.
So what you're saying is Damizza wouldn't be where he's at and done the things he would have done.
I would have been an abandoned child if it wasn't for her. She's raised me since I was a year old.
Oh, big shout out to Granny.
That's my mama.
And you've done so much at such a young age. You're homies with Dre and all these other big influential hip hop artists. I mean, what else is there to do for Damizza? I mean, seriously.
You know what? It's just keep moving forward. I love working with young people. I mean, I heard Young Quicks the other night here.
Right.
That was awesome. I love hearing his stuff. I'm working with Little Bams. We had a song. We just did a song with Cricket for DJ Kaza's mixtape in Japan, which is awesome, which Bams is featured on. So, I'm happy about that kind of stuff. I love seeing new talent come up, and I love seeing new people and experiences. So it's, especially when you see it in your backyard.
Right.
Like I've seen these guys grow up. And,
right.
I mean, I see Wicks out there doing it with High Power, and I see, just a lot of those guys just coming up, and it's, it's an honor to watch.
Now, since you left the radio, which has been a couple of years now, has that left
tried 10.
Has that
but who's
left,
counting, huh?
Has that left a bad taste in your mouth about the business?
You know what? When it went corporate, I gotta say at the time it did. And after it all happened and stuff, like it was cool for a while after, but then I started getting frustrated, because it was like watching your 2-year-old on crack. You know what I mean? Like it changed from what you made it. You know what I mean? And that's what happens when things go commercial, because what we were talking about yesterday was like, you know, when you do something from a pure standpoint, you know, I did it because I was a fan. I wanted to see the show. You know, seeing Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg get back together, or what prompted me to make that happen was a fan. And I'll never forget, like, when we did it in Hawaii, we put Snoop and Dre together, and then we brought them to Hawaii, and I was such a fan of it that about halfway through the show, Dre stops in the middle of the show and looks down and goes, "What the hell are you doing?" And I said, "I'm in the front row, I'm a fan." You know, I mean, it's like, yo, you put this on. What are you doing? I was watching the show. You know
so after reading the book, do you still talk to a lot of these artists?
You know, that was a big realization too, is it's like, you know, when you're in that, you get caught up in the hustle and bustle, you mistake business and friendship.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and I went through a lot of hard times, and in between then and now, and I didn't get no calls. So it's like, I don't really proactively, you know, go to that. Because
so it's kind of
you guys know how radio is.
Yeah.
When, I mean, especially when you're in that position, it's like people love you, you know, when you can do something for them. But then when you step back, it's like, wait, who was that again? You know what I mean? And it's like,
you're almost forgotten about. I mean, seriously. Yeah. And that's just the nature of the beast.
Well, but, you know, it's one of those things, we're all human.
Yeah.
So it was like, when I left, I was like, yeah, forget about me. I changed my numbers, blah, 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 blah. Let's see who calls. You know what I mean? And then nobody calls. Then you're like, oh, give me a drink. I'm just kidding.
And
I'm not.
All this is on your book, Guilty by Association, and you could pick up the book, damizzabook.com. And do you still talk to Mariah Carey?
I talked to her lawyers about a year ago.
But you don't talk to her.
Why'd you talk to the lawyers?
No, because, you know, here's the thing. It took literally a couple years to finally get her to read it. And then when she read it, she was like, "Oh, this is the problem?" And I'm like, "You I was like, 180 grand and 2 relapses for this?" It was.
So what was it like working with Nate Dogg, man?
Dude, now we're talking about friends. Rest in peace, Nate Dogg. That was a friend. You know, that was the dude who called you on Sundays and be like, "Hey, just checking to see how you doing." "I'm good." "Great, bye." Click. You know what I mean? He was a great dude, man. And it's, you know, I mean, out of everybody, you thought that he would last the longest.
Right.
You know, just from the spark and the thing. But, you know, there's no one who's been a bigger supporter or a better friend than Nate. You know what I mean? He really just great dude.
Now, if you love music, you got to get the book, Guilty by Association, book by Damizza, Damion Young, and
www.damizzabook.com.
Yeah, and you know, the beginning of the book, it was not only hip hop artists that you broke or helped out. It was also some alternative bands, right?
Well, I started in alternative, so it was like, you know, and that's Granny's influence too, because when I was 17, they offered me a program director gig,
right?
Which was like, you know, giving the keys to the house on vacation,
right?
So it was like, yo, what do you want to do? I'm like, I want to make a hip hop station, and at the time, hip hop wasn't really the thing. We didn't really have the gold base. We didn't have all of that. It wasn't, you know, accepted totally.
Especially in radio, because at that time it was hard for sales. Well, salespeople would say it was hard to sell.
Well, they couldn't sell it. That was the thing.
Yeah.
So they said, this is a rock town. You need to do that. And you need to do alternative. I said, well, I'm just not going to do it. And I was talking to Grandma, and she said, look, you can either use this as a stepping stone to get yourself in the door in the business and prove yourself. And I said, well, I don't know anything about it. And she goes, sweetheart, always hire people smarter than you. And that just stuck. And, you know, I mean, I surrounded myself with some really smart people, and they made me look good.
And here you are today, writing books and whatnot, huh?
And, you know, I got to give props to Jeff Craig, the co-writer, because he made me look good. I mean, it took like 8 years to 7 years to write the book. Because we couldn't find the voice, but Jeff really pulled through.
Well, listen, thank you so much, man. It was.
That's it.
It was an honor to have you.
Kick me out now.
Come on, man. Radio has changed since you've been here.
It was an honor to have you here, and we look forward to the next time having you here, man. Damizza, yo.